Okay, so find a comfortable seated position and then just take a second to get yourself settled in. Scoot your butt way back, let your back settle into the back of the chair, let your feet rest comfortably, close your eyes down or just soften your gaze, and just give your body a moment. As you start to settle into your seat, take a second to just assess, is there anything that needs a little readjust, anything that you could wiggle into place that would feel a little bit more comfortable? And if so, take a second to do that. And then once you feel like you found a nice, soft, comfortable position, can you tune in down to your feet and just let your feet find a soft, gentle position so that there's no crunching up of the toes, no efforting the tops of the feet? Can you let your feet get soft and heavy? And with each of your exhalations, as you let your feet get soft and heavy, can you almost imagine that you're gently lifting upward with the breath and then big pull down with the exhale. So think about an inhale that lifts up from your feet. And then as you exhale, your feet get heavy and it even tugs against the calves and the shins. So your legs get a little bit heavier. And then as you breathe in, you breathe a little bit more upward and notice your knees. And then as you exhale, can you let your knees, your calves, your shins, your feet get even heavier? And then on your next inhale, feel a sort of upward lifting sensation of your thighs. And then as you exhale, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your shins, your feet are going to get super soft and heavy. And then as you breathe in, can you notice your hips and get an idea of an upward lifting sensation away from your seat? And then as you exhale, butt, thighs, knees, calves, shins, and feet get super soft and heavy. And then keep that soft, heavy position with that bottom half of the body, and then just notice the solidness of the chair underneath you, the solidness of the floor beneath you. And then just offer up a little bit of gratitude for the floor beneath you, the seat underneath you, offering up that support. And now see if you can keep that soft and heavy, effortless position with the bottom half of the body. We're just going to take the left hand and see if you can just reach across and tuck it underneath your right arm. So it's just going to snuggle up between the arm and against the ribs, and then just start to come back to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. But can you notice that physical movement of breath in your rib cage, in your torso, and maybe even feel the breath in your armpit? We're going to take one more breath here, but think about breathing into the rib cage, front to back, side to side, so much that that front elbow just wants to lift slightly and expand. And then as you exhale, elbow gets heavy, shoulder soften down, and then release that hand. And we're going to switch right over to the other side. So right hand's going to reach over and across, tuck it under your hand, snuggle it in. And then once you've got that snuggled in position, come back to that breath awareness, noticing the physical action of breath in your body. One more breath here and let that be the most expansive breath you've taken so that that front elbow slightly lifts. And then as you exhale, everything gets soft and heavy. And then release your hand and then just take a moment to just notice. So there might still be a warm space where your hands were connected to the ribs. Can you breathe into that warmth? Inhale and just take a nice expansive breath into the rib cage. Exhale and let your shoulders get a little softer. Inhale an expansive breath into the rib cage. Exhale, let your back get just a little heavier into the back of your chair. One more big expansive breath. Exhale, everything gets soft. And then pause here for a moment in that soft stillness and set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, we're going to take our focus back down to our feet, but now we're going to wake the feet up just a little bit. So you're going to press gently into the pads of your toes, like you're just trying to crunch up your toes. So it will feel like the instep of, or the sole of the foot wants to crunch up too. But even if it helps you, look down at your toes. So we just want to push into the pads of the toes and imagine you're just trying to pull the toes back. So we just want to crunch up just the toes best we can, and then relax the toes. Crunch up the toes best you can, which might be a small and subtle movement, and then relax your toes. And then just do that one more time, just crunching up the toes and then relaxing your toes. And now we're going to crunch up the bottom of the feet. So you're going to push into the pads of the toes and then crunch up like you're trying to pick something up with the bottoms of your feet, and then relax the bottoms of your feet. Push into the pads of your toes, crunch up your feet, and then relax the bottoms of your feet. And just do that one more time. Crunch up the bottoms of your feet. Relax the bottoms of the feet. And now we're going to lift the toes. So as you inhale, lift your toes and spread them just as wide as you can. That's going to look different on all of us. And then as you exhale, just let your toes float down. Inhale, lift your toes and spread your toes. Exhale and let your toes float down. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift your toes and spread your toes. Exhale, float your toes down. And now we're going to go toes and the balls of the feet. So inhale, lift your toes, lift the balls of your feet, float the balls of the feet down, and then the toes. And now see if you can just segment those things. Lift your toes, lift the balls of your feet, lower the balls of your feet, lower your toes. One more just like that. Lift your toes, lift the balls of your feet, lower the balls of your feet, lower your toes. And now step your feet in just slightly so you have just a little bit more anchor point into the toes and the balls of the feet. And then lift your heels and lower your heels. Lift your heels, lower your heels. Do that one more time. Lift your heels, lower your heels. And now we're just going to lift our back away from our chair. Come forward. Elbows and forearms are going to rest on your knees. So we're bringing that body weight down into the ankles. And then do that again. Press into the balls of the feet. Lift your heels. Release your heels back down with control. Lift your heels. Release your heels back down. One more time. Lift your heels. Release your heels back down, lift your torso up. We're going to pick up the left leg. So we're just going to make a little basket. We've picked that left leg up, and then let the leg be as heavy as you can into your arms. So reduce as much efforting as you can. Arms are going to be strong, but leg is going to be heavy, and it's going to create that little bit of weight. And then we're just going to use our strength in our arms, gently pull the leg toward you, release the leg away from you. Gently pull the leg toward you, release the leg away. Leg is still soft and heavy. All the effort is coming out of the arms. Lift the leg up. Lower it down, release that foot all the way down to the ground, switch over to the other side. Grab your leg, pick it up, give it a second to let it get nice and heavy. Sometimes the leg wants to assist and then we need to let it go. So let your arms find that strength, pull the leg toward you and release it away. Use the strength in your arms, pull the leg toward you and release it away. Do that one more time. Pull the leg toward you and release it. Set it down, come back to the other leg, pick it up. And now we're going to lift it up just to a little bit of a height. Now the leg might be slightly engaged and we're going to start to swing the foot. So you're just going to gently swing out of the knee joint. Just let it be a soft and loose movement just to kind of bring a little lubrication into the knee joint. Nice. One more little swing of that foot. And then when you're ready, set that foot down. But now we're going to take both hands and we're just going to rough up the knee. So we're just going to smush around, create a little heat in that knee joint. Take one more second to rough it around and then pick up your other leg. Just that gentle lift. You might find that little bit of efforting in the leg and then start to swing the foot forward and back. Nice. One more swing of that foot forward and back and then set that foot down. Use both hands and just rough up that knee. Just create a little bit of heat. And once you feel like that knee is good and roughed up, we're going to grab hold of both knees, find a nice neutral spine position, and then we're going to wave through the spine. So we're going to tuck the chin down, get a little rounding and hollowing through the back of the body, and then scoop the chin forward, scoop the heart forward, and wave through your spine, and then round through the back. So think of this as a segmented cat-cow, but we're working through the vertebrae of the spine. Tuck your chin, wave through your spine, glide your heart forward. And then once you feel like you've reached the tailbone, curl everything back, tuck your chin, Wave through your spine. How much movement you get, that's totally up to you. You can slow it down or you can go fast. You want to make sure it feels safe and comfortable in your body. Nice. Take one more wave through the spine. And then as you find a more upright position, now we're going to go into scrape the peanut butter jar. So we're just going to take the rib cage and circle it around. How deep and far you go with the circles, that's just whatever feels best to you. So be mindful, pay attention. If you're feeling anything grinding or making any clicking noises in the spine, best to slow it down and be a little bit more mindful about the height of your spine. Think about elongating rather than big grand movements. But if everything's feeling good and you've got a good position and all things are feeling healthy, take those, scrape the peanut butter jar and go the other way, circling your ribs in the other direction. Nice. Take one more circle around. And then when you're ready, left hand's going to find the side of the chair, right hand's going to reach up. Take a light and gentle side bend, and then we're going to move right out and away from it. Lift up and find a neutral spine. Lean into that side bend. Lift up, find your neutral spine. Do that one more time. Lean into that side bend. Lift all the way up, switch hands. Right hand's going to touch down, left hand's going to reach up. Lean over, find a little side bend, come back up. Lean over just a little bit and come back up. Do that one more time. Lean over just a little bit and come back up. And now we're going to go back to that original side. So switch hands, but this time stay in that side bend and then just see if you can tune in. Notice the movement of breath in your ribs. Can you notice the movement of breath in your armpit? One more breath. And then with control release, hand's going to touch down, other hand's going to lift up. Find your side bend first, make sure it feels comfortable, and then tune it. Notice the movement of breath in the ribs. Notice the movement of breath in your armpit. Take one more breath. Nice. And then lift up, release, and we're going to move right into a seated twist. So if you want to, scoot your butt forward just so you have plenty of space to move in your chair, and then rotate to one side, hand to the tall side of the chair, low side of the chair. That's just what feels the most comfortable. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release and take your twist over to the other side. Nice. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release, come back to center, and you're going to scoot your butt as far forward as feels appropriate. You want to make sure your butt feels supported, but now into our seated ragdoll. So we're going to step our feet forward with a wide position with the legs, and then start by just leaning your heart forward. So for some of us, if head underneath the heart is not a good position to be in right now, here's where you're going to stay. You're going to stay where your head is slightly elevated over your heart. If things are feeling good, you're going to soften deeper into that fold and then just check your back. You want to feel a gentle stretch in the low back, maybe a gentle stretch down into your butt, but no shooting pain in the back and no shooting pain in the butt. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly bring yourself back up and out of that fold. Step your feet in so that they're about hip width distance apart, nice alignment with the knees, and then just take a second to find that nice tall upright spine. And now we're going to just start to lift one leg and tap out, and then lift the other leg and tap out. We want to move out of the hip socket. So we want to keep the upright torso, so there's a lot of nice stability through the top part of the body, and we're just using a bit of strength in the legs, and then finding some nice rotational movement in the thigh bone, moving out of the hip. Beautiful. Now, the next time that right foot steps out, stay there. We're going to take the right elbow down to the knee, finding a light little side bend, but think about pulling those ribs up away from the thigh. Take your top hand, reach it up, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Lift up with control. Step that leg in, move right to the other side. Left leg steps out, find that wide position, elbow to the knee, ribs lifting away from the thigh, top arm reaches up, take a nice big breath. Lovely. Lift up with control, step that foot in with control, and find your seated mountain pose. Feet nice and anchored on the ground, butt nice and anchored in the chair, reaching energetically up through the crown of your head. And then once you found that here, we're going to bring a little life into the shoulders. So we're going to keep our hands nice and active. Think a big spread of the fingers. Lift your shoulders up to your ears. Feel the muscles in the back of the body and in the shoulders, and then let your shoulders draw down with control, almost like you're trying to push your fingertips down to the ground. Draw the shoulders up, draw the shoulders down, and then reach your fingers down like you're trying to depress your shoulders. Do that one more time. Draw the shoulders up, draw the shoulders down, reach down into the fingertips like you're depressing the shoulders, and then see if you can find neutral position with the shoulders. Soften up just a little bit so it's not as anchored and militant. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. One more time through here, just connecting that breath and movement. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. And now we're going to move into a little bit of a flow. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches up to the sky. Release that hand down. We're going to slide up the shin, bring the knee up to the chest, bring your nose to your knee, a little rounding through the back of the body, and then right away release, come back into your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches up. Right away, release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee up to the chest, bring your nose to your knee, a light rounding through the back of the body, and then right away, release back to mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches up. Stay here for one extra cycle of breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then when you're ready, release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee to the chest, nose to knee, stay here for one extra cycle of breath. Beautiful. And then with control, release it back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches up. We're going to stay here for an extra cycle of breath. And then when you feel ready, reach that hand down, find the shin, slide up the shin, bring the knee to the chest, bring your nose to your knee, stay here for an extra cycle of breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release that leg nice and slow and controlled. And now we're going to step the left leg out and swivel into a little bit of a lunge. So readjust your butt as needed. We want to see if we can let that knee drop down just enough. So what we really want to find is we're going to find work in the hip. So we want to see if we can find a level set position with our hips. And then we're going to dip the hip. So we're going to take that hip that's hanging off the edge of the seat and dip it down towards the ground, and then pull it back up and squeeze into the side body. So feel those side muscles, those oblique muscles kick on. Let the hip dip down. So we want to imagine that we're reaching that knee down towards the ground, and then pull the hip up and squeeze into the side body. Do that one more time. Let the knee drop down, dip the hip, pull it back up and squeeze in at the side body, and then come back to neutral position. And now we're going to push the hip forward and back. So if it helps you find it, place your hand where that front pocket entry would be, and imagine you're pushing the front pocket forward and then pulling that front pocket back. Push the front pocket forward, pull the front pocket back. Do that one more time. Push the pocket forward, pull the pocket back, and then find that neutral position again. We're going to get the hip to drop down and then reach up and take a side bend. So we're going to let the hip sink down. Arm is going to reach up and just create this nice big length through the side of your body. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. As we lift up, your hip's going to find that level set, and now we're going to rotate. We're going to turn towards the back of the chair. Just get a little leveraged rotation so your hands find the chair. Take a nice deep breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, unwind. Take it all the way through center, swivel your knees just a little bit, just kind of swish out any stuff that you may have come across. And then when you're ready, we're going to spin it over to the other side. So we're going to scooch ourselves around, get yourself situated. One cheek on, one cheek off is really the way to go. Drop that knee down just as best you can. If it helps you find it, place your hand on that front pocket area. We're going to dip that knee down so the hip is anchoring down towards the ground, and then use those side belly muscles, those oblique muscles, squeeze up through the side body. Nice. Let the knee drop down, let the hip dip down, pull up and squeeze through that side body. Do that one more time. Let the knee drop down, hip dips, pull up and squeeze. And then we find that neutral position and then hand to that front pocket. We push the front pocket forward, pull the front pocket back. Push the front pocket forward, pull the front pocket back. One more time. Push the front pocket forward, pull the front pocket back, and then find neutral position. And then we're going to let the knee drop down so the hip anchors downward towards the ground. Top hand is going to reach up, and we find a little side bend leaning towards the back of the chair. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, lift up with control and rotate. Turn towards the back of the chair. Nice. And then when you're ready, unwind, swivel back around, come through and just take a couple of gentle windshield wipers, just kind of swish everything around. And then once you feel like you've kind of worked out your hips a little bit, your knees feel okay, find your mountain pose again. Feet nice and anchored on the ground, butt nice and anchored in your seat, and a little energy down into your fingers. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches up to the sky. Release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee to the chest, a light little squeeze. And now we're going to hold that knee, grab the heel, take it into a little external rotation. So we dip the knee in and out. And then see how it feels to bring it into your figure four. If it feels good, bring it across the thigh. If it feels better to bring it across the ankle, do the setup that feels good to you this morning. And then once you feel like you've got a good position and everything feels solid, lean your heart forward just as far as feels nice to you. Take one more breath. Come up nice and slow, gently lift that leg off. We're going to extend it nice and long. So we're going to flex the foot a little bit, let the heel touch down to the ground. Once you found that, think up and over. So we're going to lift up and over with the belly, exhale, reach toward your foot. Doesn't matter if you can touch your foot. And if you feel any zinging up into your glute, bend your knee even more. I find bending my knee feels really nice, and I do find a stretch in my hamstring muscles. So do the thing that helps you find a place where a stretch feels good. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly bring it back in. Find your mountain pose again. Anchor down into your feet, butt solid on the chair, arms activated. Nice. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches up to the sky. Beautiful. Release that hand down and slide up the shin. Pick the knee up towards the chest and then externally rotate. Grab the knee, grab the heel, move it around just a little bit. You can move into the hip, move into the knee, rock it a little side to side, any little bit of movement that loosens it up. And then once you feel like you've got a little bit of movement that felt good, find your figure four, maybe across the thigh, maybe across the ankle, totally up to you. And then once you feel like you've got a good shape, lean yourself forward just to a depth that feels nice. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. Lift that leg up. We're going to extend it nice and long. Heel touches down to the ground. Micro bend the knee. Lift up, think up and over with the belly, and then reach towards your foot. Same thing on the side. Doesn't matter if you can touch your foot. We just want a nice little stretch to the back of the leg. And specifically, we're targeting the hamstring muscles here. So hopefully you feel a little tender pull in that thickest back of the thigh area. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, bring everything back up nice and slow and controlled. Give your knees a little swish, give your ankles a little wiggle, give your toes a little wiggle, give your shoulders a little shimmy shake. Loosen everything up just a little bit so it all feels wiggly jiggly, nice and happy. And then find that nice tall upright position with the spine. And we're just going to start by turning our head a little side to side. Look over one shoulder and then the other. One more turn of the head side to side. We will come back to this position, but first we're going to bring our head back to a neutral position. Arms are going to float up into a cactus or goalpost arm. Start by just looking at your elbows, turn one way and look at the other elbow. And then if you feel like your elbows are slightly forward, can you pull the elbows back so they're a little bit more in line? And you might feel a little tug in the armpit chest area, might feel a little bit tight. And that's okay. We want a little bit of strength in this position. And then imagine somebody's giving you a big high five. So we're going to let that imaginary high five happen so that the palms pull back. So we're going to keep the elbows wide. Palms are going to go back just as far as feels right to you. That might look different on everybody, but find that bit of strength. So it should be a nice, strong, active position to hold that high five. Take one more second to find that. And then soften everything, release, draw the shoulders down and back. And now turn your head. Look over your left shoulder. Once you found that, tuck your chin down just slightly and take 3 nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. Lift your chin up to a neutral position. Turn through center over to the other side. So we look over the shoulder first, tuck your chin down, and then take 3 nice deep breaths here. Awesome. Lift your chin up to a neutral position, return to center. Now we're going to take index finger, middle finger, and we're going to find that little groove right about where the ear and the jaw meet. So you're going to just kind of depress your fingers into that little space where you should be able to, if you open and close your jaw, you should be able to feel that muscle action happening there. So we're going to push our fingertips gently into that space. And now we're going to draw little circles with the bottom part of our mouth. So we're just going to circle around like you're chewing a big old sandwich. And then when you're ready, circle around and go the other way. Circling one way might feel like a little bit more of a challenge than the other. One more circle around. And then we're going to take our light fingers and we're just going to gently tap across the forehead. So think third eye center and tap your way out to the temples. Third eye center, tap your way out to the temples. One more time through. Third eye center, tap your way out to the temples. And then relax your hands down with your eyes closed if you can. Start to walk your butt back in your seat. Give your body a second to just kind of settle into that soft position. And then just for a moment here, can you let your awareness come back down to your feet? Are you crunching up in your toes? Are you holding tension in the tops of your feet? And if so, can you let your feet get soft and heavy into the earth? Can you come back to that idea of that gentle upward lift with your inhale? And with each exhale, you start to get softer and heavier through your body. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your wrists, move your ankles. Just invite some light and gentle movement back into your limbs. Take a nice gentle breath. Open your eyes. We're going to go left leg, right hand. So we're just going to big giant yawn with just the left leg, right hand. So we're going to reach and almost stretch away from each other with those limbs. And then when you're ready, release. And we're going to switch over to the other side. So right leg, left hand are going to reach and expand. See how that feels, set it down. And then if it feels comfortable to do so, you're going to go both legs, both arms, stretching out and away from each other, almost like a big giant starfish. Really reach through your limbs, spreading out. And then when you're ready, soften everything down, lift your back away from your seat, scoot your butt forward so you're sitting up nice and tall. So your feet are solid on the ground, nice upright position with the spine. And then just for a moment here, check your head, heart, and hips position. So if it feels like you're slightly leaned forward, bring it back so that your head, your heart, and your hips are in line. Glide your shoulders down. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and just for a moment, come back to your breath. Take a nice, generous inhale. Fill your rib cage up. Exhale, nice and slow. Another generous inhale. Can you notice the breath in your armpits? Exhale, nice and slow. One more breath and just tuning in, noticing the movement of breath right underneath the hand that's resting on your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time that you take to take care of yourself. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And then when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back, Helen. So glad.